Good morning, everybody. Oh, hey, I need to. There we go. A little bit bigger here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Tuesday night open question and answer session all about chameleons. And if you're watching this on replay, just know you can be here live with everybody, hanging out and talking chameleons. Hey, come here, ask whatever questions you want. This is a live Q&A, and I am here to answer the questions that come up. This is on Instagram as well as Chameleon Academy live YouTube channel. And we are here every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Hello, everybody. Now I'm going to go through the chat and say hello to the world. Sneaking in the back. What the heck, James? Well, you know what? I actually got some fog for you. Maybe a little bit later. Oh. All right, we got our Canadian. We got Mikey Ben and Joanne from Canada. Marcia from Georgia. Javi from New York. Alex, are you from New Jersey? Did I remember that right? Hello, Lonely Cams. Welcome. So, all right. So I am working on warming up to being back on camera here after a long 6-hour live session, but that was like over a week ago. So, hey, Bill, what are you complaining about? Woo! Well, I've been working hard ever since then, getting ready for Madagascar, which is going to be happening in less than a month. A month from now, I will be in Madagascar. I will be looking for chameleons, and I will be sharing with you all. And let's see if we have... Oh, Geraldine's here. Geraldine's going to be my Madagascar buddy with Tony. Hey, Thick from Northern Ireland. Oh, Tony is here. Hello. So, okay, Mikey Ben, everybody's going to ask Geraldine how packing is going. So that's the drama that happens every episode here. So, Bill, how's it hanging? Well, you know what? Let's see. Only Cam says flaw. Does that mean you're in Florida? Let me know where you're from. And let's see. Okay, Geraldine says, Mikey Bent, I bought a couple of new things. All right. Alex is in New York City. All right. It's cold over there. I've been looking at the temperature over there. I've been keeping track of what's going on in your weather, and you guys got it cold over there. Yeah. So when it begins in Massachusetts. All right. Well, I think it's important. Not gonna lie, I'm super jealous. James probably talking about me being in Madagascar, which is something worthy of being jealous of, because I am really excited about it, and going to be back over there. I've grown fond of that place. So let's see. Someone's going to ask, and if nobody asks, I'll probably be offended, how the Shamrock Chameleon eggs are doing. So let's go ahead and take a look. Give me a second. I haven't checked them today. I have a remote temperature sensor, so I'm checking on how they're doing, at least temperature-wise. All right. Can you guys see? Just enough. There's my temperature sensor in there. Well, there's no mold. There are a couple of that look a little suspicious, but then there's a bunch that look really good. So, time will tell. This is the kind of edge of your seat drama that you get here at the Chameleon Academy. Join every week so you can get an update. And of course, chameleon drama happens like chameleons and chameleon people. It's going to happen over the course of 14 months? Yeah. Yes. That's the way we do it. It's Jan. It's Ian 209 says, is it possible to bond with my veiled chameleon? Oh, the answer to that biologically is that you have the capacity to bond to your chameleon. Your chameleon does not have the capacity to bond with you. They just don't have the parts of the brain necessary to do that. When we talk about bonding as a relationship, That is something that happens in social animals. That's a part of our brain that develops so we form groups, because it's not anytime you have two of the same type in an area, there's competition for food and resources. And so we have to have a benefit that overcomes that. And for social species like humans, dogs, cats, deer, whales, many species, we have benefits that overcome that competition. And you know it. When we humans, we cannot live without each other, but sometimes we can't live with each other. You imagine being in a house, and sometimes we just need to get out of the house. So there's always that stress, cohabitation stress. And we have to have a benefit that overcomes that. Chameleons don't have that benefit. There's a lot of animals, a lot of reptiles that don't have that benefit. And so if they don't have that benefit, they're not going to develop the part of the brain that bonds us. If you think about it, that's kind of a weird thing. Why would two creatures bond, what we call bonding? And that's it. We evolved to be able to do that. But creatures that live solitary lives, like chameleons, I mean, it doesn't mean they don't have social interaction. They do, but they got to mate. But they don't live together, and so they didn't need the part of the brain that what we call bonding. So they don't do that. Now, what do they do? Because there seems to be a relationship. Yeah. Chameleon can very easily decide that you are not a threat. And if you're not a threat, then you're just a moving tree. If you bring food, well, bonus, you're a moving tree that brings food. That's pretty cool. And some chameleons will be able to totally get rid of that innate fear that's inside of them, that very healthy fear that says, don't hang out with things that are big enough to eat you. That's just one way to make sure that evolutionarily you pass on your genes. And so, but every chameleon is different, has different personalities. And so they have ability to trust that you're not going to hurt them, even be curious. Okay, what's going on over there? So you may be able to have some sort of relationship. Every chameleon is different. And this relationship between human and chameleon, that goes against their evolutionary programming. And so you just gotta realize it's not easy. And if they do have that, oh, I trust you, and I can even crawl out on you, that is a chameleon that is on the edge of what a core chameleon is in nature. So they can't bond with you. They can trust you. You can develop a relationship with them. The best relationship possible is not to hold them. It's to hand feed them and get them used to whenever the hairless ape comes around, I get something really good to eat. And they will look forward to you coming. They will get excited to you coming around so they can eat. Handling isn't something that's good for them. And I say don't try it. Don't force them to learn to tame down to be on you. If they crawl out on you, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying none will. Some do. So I guess that's the cold hard truth of it. And it's really not that cold. It's just different. And that's part of what we're doing here as chameleon keepers is we're getting to know a different creature, and we are respecting that creature. We bring them into our home, and we're bringing them into our home not so they can be a dog or something other than what they are. We bring them into a home so we can commune with what a chameleon is. So it's not, I know it's disappointing. We see in the movies, we have a little shoulder dragon, which would be cool. That's just not what they are in real life. And if you can accept that, which I do, I enjoy it. I enjoy that type of relationship. So, all right, let me see if I can catch up on the chat. So, Geraldine says, I bought O. Well, Madagascar needs a lot of O. Bring it. Let's see. The crowd's pouring in. I'm just kind of catching up on the chat. I know I've got some stuff, comments on Instagram that I'm going to get to. Hey, Renee's here too. Tony says, okay, eggs. Everybody's happy about the eggs. Will you diapause the eggs? Yes, Mikey Ben. In fact, I am getting my wine cooler set right now, and it is running. And probably tomorrow, I'm going to put them into diapause. James says, but I can't cuddle with my chameleon. No, James, no cuddling. Gotta tell that guy over and over. All right. Nate says, any tips for getting into a vet that isn't accepting patients but is in the same practice as my current vet? Is there a nice way to ask your vet to ask my current vet to consult the known good cam vet? You can say, Nate, you can go in and talk to them, and if they are not confident, you say, listen, I've got a guy who really loves chameleons, a vet. Would you be willing to talk to him? You just have to find an opening. And I know it's kind of, going into somebody and say, hi, I'm paying you for your services, but you know what? I don't have confidence that you know what you're talking about. So yeah, you're going to have to wait for an opening. And that's one of those things you're just going to have to, it may work, because if he knows, if you say, hey, listen, I know you're not, if they say this isn't the reptile specialist, but they can help you, you can try to fit it in. I know some vets that are just so egotistical and they don't want to hear anything from anybody. And then there's other vets that are incredibly, they know exactly what they know, and they don't pretend that they know more. And so it just depends what kind of vet you get. Mikey says, well, ask me 2 hours before flight. We're talking about packing. We've got both Geraldine and Tony are saying they're not packing for Madagascar until right before the flight. Oh no. Well, what the heck? You know what? We'll just show up and see what happens. And just have a backpack with a couple of days change of clothes, and make sure you have your camera and your flashlight. You know, the headlamp thing. This is the one I get. I've been charging it. I've been using it. So make sure you have your headlamp. There you go. That's a good one. And other than that, I mean, hey, you got the food taken care of. You got food taken care of. You got the boarding taken care of, and you got the bus, and you got water all day. So, I mean, you know, what all do you really need? Just show up. I'm really kidding about that, please. You just come. But then again, James did it. His luggage was lost for how many days, and he did just fine. Wearing the same thing every day, but hey, he did. He had a grand old time. You know what? Nobody here. It is not. I cannot be a person of integrity and compare anybody's experience with the experience that James had. He is a unique individual, a unique experience. You can only be within his orbit and like get his leftovers of adventure. That's it. So, okay. All right. Okay, Mike is in Hawaii looking in every bush for Jacksons. Excellent. Oh, this is great. Love hearing from. Thank you very much, Mike, for joining us and letting us know the adventure of looking for chameleons in Hawaii. Geraldine says, Tony, don't tell Eliza that. I freaked her out by saying I was going to pack a few days before I leave. Yeah, you're lucky your Eliza Ann's not here, because she would just be worrying for both of you. Tony says, I just ordered this one. We'll be matching. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and check my Instagram people here. I am sorry for. Let me get back. Only Cam says, I have finally been able to purchase an Inkify. This will be my ninth chameleon. I think I'm now done for a while. You think so, huh? Inkify, that's a locale of panther for those who don't recognize that name. It's an obscure one. This will be interesting. 951 Kennel says, my chameleon is currently struggling to eat, has been sleeping all day. He's about 7 months. Is there anything I can give him that will help? Okay, give him medical attention, get him to a vet to figure out what is going on. If he's sleeping all day, you know there's something going on inside that is serious. This is code red. You are justified in getting to the vet as soon as possible and figuring out what's going on. You're going to need to do a husbandry review to figure out what happened. And the thing is, if he's sleeping, that means there's internal distress. You need to find out if it's if there's an infection somewhere in there. It could be bacterial, it could be fungal, it could be parasitic. These three things it could be all three things, depending upon, well, it could be all three things. The thing is, the treatment for all those three things is vastly different. So you have to know what it is that you're treating. So yes, get to a vet, figure it out. And time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. Whenever they start sleeping all day, we got trouble, especially a 7-month-old. They should be running, jumping all over the place, not jumping. I've been working with geckos, satanic leaf-tailed geckos lately. That's what I do on my my downtime. I play with satanic leaf-tailed geckos. I love your Platus Fantasticus. They are wonderful. Yes, many people don't know, but I have always been working with your Platus Fantasticus in the background, and that is how Yvette, the famous Misty Mountain Fans, Yvette got acquainted with your Platus Fantasticus and then became 10 times the breeder I was. So, hey, but I had a grand old time. And I still play with them. And in fact, I'm building one. You're going to be able to see. I'm going to show you when I get her cage done. I got one right here that I'm putting together. I'm very happy about it. Let's see. Sakshamungru says, hey, Bill, thoughts on feeding crickets and roaches feeders with meat from time to time? I wouldn't do it. Unless you've got a species where that's their normal diet, because their body is designed to process certain things. And if they're not designed to process meat, number one, they're not going to eat it unless they're starving. And so I wouldn't do it unless that is a natural food for that particular species of cricket or roach. And honestly, I don't know all the species. So there may be, if there's a flesh eating, meat eating, and if they'll do it. I haven't tried it, so I don't know. Does a normal cricket eat meat? I don't know. I won't say they don't because I don't know, but generally speaking, I wouldn't feed your feeder insects things that they don't normally eat. Bearded dragon, if you want a cuddle reptile. Yep. Yeah, and really, there's reptiles that are very calm, like bearded dragons. That's one reason why they make such great pets. And so if you want a holding animal, then that's a great choice. Although I very rarely say get a bearded dragon, because if somebody has a chameleon, if somebody has looked into chameleons enough that they have found me, then they really love chameleons. And so, I'll deal with them at that level. But yes, a bearded dragon would be a good holding reptile. Mabel and Pearl is saying, do they ever go to sleep a little bit earlier in the winter and colder weather? Yes, they will go to sleep earlier. They have an internal clock that they try to sync to sunset, and we totally messed that up in captivity. So they do get a little bit confused, but it's fine. As long as they're going to sleep because they want to sleep for the night. As long as that's their motive, that's fine. And that usually happens an hour or so before sundown. And I want to let everybody know, yes, I did get the mushroom power cup. I am being powered by the mushroom cup. Susan says one of my females laid a clutch of 20 overnight. Yay, 20. What species do you have? Do you have a pardalis? I thought you had. Who has veils? If you got 20 out of a veiled, I am very impressed. Hey, Annabelle's here. Hey, welcome. Okay, let's see. You need to take a video of Renee. Okay, Renee is VR fishing. Sounds like a good thing to do. So, all right. Whew, I'm going to take a drink here. Oh, boy. I have been working on cages, misting systems, lighting systems, because I got to get ready for me to be gone to Madagascar, and my wonderful family is here, and they are going to be taking over. So all the things that I do manually, I need to make sure are done automatic. And when things break down, I don't always fix them. I'll just turn it on and off myself. Now, can't do that anymore. The goats got in the feed pen. James is going to be gone for a minute. Oh. And then Alex is asking Marcia and Renee about Charlene. For everybody, Charlene is a female Kaluma brevicorn that has gone to live with Marcia and Renee. And hopefully her and Cuervo, who is a male Kaluma brevicorn that I sent to Marcia and Renee, they can get together and we can discuss future arrangements with the community to have Kaluma brevicorn available. That would be wonderful. Sakshumungru, I have my tour guide is Patrick Andri Mijihaj. I don't even remember how. I learned how to say his last name a number of times, but I keep forgetting. It's something you got to practice. What? Is Christopher here? Oh, Christopher Wiggins. Hello. Charlene is doing Patron. Oh, did I say Cuervo? You see, Marcia has all of her chameleons named by tequilas or stuff like that. And so I get them mixed up. I tell you. All right. Oh, so a question of everybody, how is your December going? And how are things progressing for your season here? Please let me know. And Christopher, please give us an update as to how Perch is doing. Perch is Christopher's panther chameleon who is challenged. He's having working on the whole health thing. And he's doing some crazy stuff that isn't standard. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with him. Yes, Patrick is the guide. I've gone with him. This is my third time with Patrick. And I really enjoy his style and his tour and his way of doing it. Hey, Ben, welcome. Oh, okay. So Matthew's got got his last name, Andri Mihaja. Andri, I have been in contact. Oh, okay. Well, sheesh, Matthew, you should come with me in January if you're going to be going. All right. So I am. I have finally I have sent my almost last yellow giant parsons to um, to their homes, and now I am considering whether I am going to just work with yellow lip. That should be just considering. Javi says, have you done new locations every time you visit Madagascar? No, I haven't. And I have specifically gone to the same locations because I want to see them in different years. And I know that's people say, oh, well, you should see as much of Madagascar as possible. The thing is, I'm going to Madagascar because I want to get to know certain locations, especially where the shamrock chameleons live, the Kluma Oshonesiai. And so, like the first time I went there, very wet. And I got to see them in very wet conditions. So the other time I went there, it was very dry, unseasonably dry. And so I got to see the area in very dry conditions. And so the more times I see the same area, the better I get to know a range of conditions. And I should go during the dry season. I should go to the same place year after year after year. Obviously, that there's only a limited amount of years and times that I can go. So I am talking about modifying the trip slightly for 2027. And I'm seeing what's available. There is a possibility to go to the area where Kaluma cuculata, which is the ultimate flappy flap, and Kaluma globifur are relatively close, but I don't know how accessible they are. So we may try to drop by this trip to see that new location, but I'll be talking about where we can go if slightly modifying things for the next trip. The thing is, my trip, I go down to Ranamafana. That's like 2 days south of the capital. And then I go to Andasi Bay, which is about a day east of the capital. And so I've got this big L going. And if I go any further than Ranamafana, I do take a jaunt over to see the ring-tailed lemurs. But if I spend any more time down there, it really makes it hard to get back up north. It's like 2 days drive. So there's a lot of thought that I have to put into this and a lot of planning. So let's see. All right, let's see. Christopher is giving us that update on perch. December is going great. Mango and perch both just shed. Oh, good. This is perch's first shed since all his medical issues started in June. I'm very excited. That is great news, Christopher. I'm glad to hear that. That is awesome. Any news on a Madagascar shipment? Probably January. Yeah, we all got excited. That was a miscommunication. January is probably when it's coming. It better not come. It probably will come when I'm in Madagascar. Anybody else read the new paper about chameleon perching and microhabits that Dr. Anderson was part of? I am looking forward to seeing that. I saw that, and I am looking forward to sitting down and just taking a look at that. See, Susan says, yes, Bill, she has availed the 120 eggs. Excellent. Almost a year of studying before I got them. Started with a male and female, collected more from there. My original male died suddenly. My OG female got eaten by a king snake. That's not standard. There's probably a story behind that. Wow. I've not heard of that before. I know snakes eat chameleons, but in captivity, that is a rare occurrence. I am interested in the details behind that. Let's see. Mikey Ben says Mike Daitula has been booking Costa Rica trips. Adam Wickeds is booking Vietnam trips. Do you see this as a new trend for content creators? I guess it looks like it could be. Maybe. And I'm booking Madagascar trips. So, yeah, now the difference between Mike Daitula and Adam Wickens is Mike Daitula is doing it for, it's like he's doing it for a very close knit group of people who know each other. That's a easy thing. Me, I'm doing it a little bit wider. I'm doing it for a community that is anybody can join, but you have to actually try to join. And so that's a little bit more challenging. What Adam is doing, and Snake Discovery is now doing things like this, is opening it up to the wide hundreds of thousands of fans. And I know what it takes to coordinate a smaller one. That doing something at that level, that's a challenge. But I'm glad of doing that because that is an awesome opportunity for people to get out and actually see things. Because when you have like your general YouTube audience or anybody here, when you haven't gone to a foreign country, it's intimidating. Especially when you're going to a country that is not as well developed. I mean, going to Europe, oh, okay. Maybe I got to deal with a different language with people that pretty much speak English anyways. But to go to Madagascar, Vietnam, Thailand, herping out in the middle of nowhere, you're going, okay, I'm not sure about this. So being able to go with somebody like that is perfect. And I mean, the first time I went to Madagascar, I didn't know what to expect. It's like, oh my gosh, now that I've been, it's like, oh, this is easy. I mean, I'm okay. It's international travel. International travel is never easy. You're going to a place where you got to watch what you eat. You can't flush toilets with toilet paper, and you got to watch out. Okay, maybe there's malaria going around here somewhere, and there's things you got to worry about. And if it's not Madagascar, it's okay. Are there going to be snakes that are going to bite me, or is there going to be a lion that's going to eat me? I mean, it depends on where you go. So there's reason for it to be intimidating. But these trips, it's really, really good. I'm glad to see it happening. Question from Alex MC is Chameleon guy. Yes, you have found the Chameleon guy. Oh. Snake Discovery Cruise. Oh, yeah, Annabelle was on the Snake Discovery Cruise. It was a blast, but nothing beats Madagascar with the Cam fam. Yeah. James says, yeah, stay away from France. James and France didn't get along. Yeah, so with the Yellow Giants being sold, does that mean its priority was increased, right? You're talking about the care guide? I just want to read it. Well, no, everybody, yeah. The pressure has decreased here, but it is big on the list. And Nate, you're going to see very soon what I've been working on because you're part of the beta crowd, so a beta test group. But yeah, everybody, I've got something that I've been working on, and it's an enormous amount of work. But I should be able to roll it out when I get back from Madagascar. Still working very hard on it. So just hang tight, be patient, know that there's things going on behind the scenes, and we're gonna get them out, and the Parsons Guide is going to be part of that. Annabelle says about Madagascar, it's easy, but don't get in the elevator alone. At least if you're with James, don't get into the elevator alone. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. There's a lot of venomous things in Vietnam and Thailand. Yes, there are. What is the native language there in Madagascar? It's Malagasy, and French is widely spoken, but there is a lot of English. If you go to any of the places that we stay at the hotels, there's always English. So you go out into the village, you probably aren't going to. Maybe they have a little bit of English, but we are with the tour guides at all times, and so we have people that speak Malagasy, and so we're always taken care of. And the hotels speak English, so it's certainly not as challenging as it could be. Terry's got a public service announcement. Just want everybody to know not to give up on hatchlings. Thought my panther was a goner. Didn't move for 3 days after hatching. Then all of a sudden woke up. Seems to be doing well now at 5 days. Yeah, Terry had a unique experience when the panther hatches out of the egg. Usually within 24 hours, they're bouncing around and they're doing laps around the cage. Terry's did not do that, and so I mean, I saw pictures. It looked great, but after a couple of days, they should be moving. They should be moving, and so Terry did exactly what you do with chameleons. You stick with it until there's beyond a shadow of a doubt, because you never know. So that is great news. I'm so glad to hear that. James says, next time I'm going, he's taking $20 from the police officer. Is Malagasy difficult to learn? The most difficult thing about Malagasy is retaining it. Just like any language, if you can spend a lot of energy learning it, but unless you use it, you just lose it so easily. And so, if you're going to spend a year learning it just for a 2-week vacation, you're going to have a lot of opportunity to use Malagasy, but you probably won't ever have an opportunity where you have to use it. So it'd be a fun thing. But if you're going to be learning a language, come up with a way that you can maintain it. Because I learned Indonesian, and I was able to do phone calls in Bahasa Indonesian, whatever. Obviously, I'm losing it. And now, I mean, I suppose I could pick it back up, but now I don't remember much of it at all. I know what kupu kupu is, and tikus besar, big mouse, a rat. So rata is horizontal. I know that one. So that's I think the most difficult thing is to maintain it. But as far difficulty, it's fun to learn the grammar, and all aspects of language. But it's not like Chinese would be very difficult for an English speaker just because of it's graphical to write. You could learn to speak it, but then there's a lot of real difficult inflections. So it's not difficult in that way. Pretty sure something like 90% of the world speak English. I personally would want to learn the native language if I'm going to visit somewhere. Unlike the European countries that would respect you for trying to learn their language, the Malagasy people would rather you just spend money there. They don't care so much whether they don't see you as they're very poor there, and so they are appreciative when you buy their vanilla and all that kind of wonderful stuff. they don't care if you speak their language or not. That just doesn't rate with them. So, but I'm not going to discourage you from doing it. And I would love for you to join us and come speaking Malagasy. That would be freaking cool. Do people who live in Madagascar have outdoor enclosures and just like corral them? They do foster them. They don't cage them. They have parsons living in their trees. Like the villagers, the tour guide Patrick knows where in the villages the village parsons chameleon hangs out. So there's like some yellow giant parsons that live in the village. And so, every time we go to a different house where that parsons decides it wants to be. And the family is compensated for taking good care of this wild parsons. So, so the family gets something out of it, but I do not know of any caging that goes on. Now, obviously, I imagine somebody may cage them just so they can show them off, but we haven't seen them in cages. Are there any keepers to Madagascar? There are some, but they're usually foreigners that come and they build like chameleon farms and stuff like that. The Malagasy people themselves are worried about food, and you will see that. I don't want to do the whole broad brush thing, but generally speaking, the villagers aren't that nice to animals. So that is why me bringing dog treats, the dogs don't trust me because I'm a human being, and it takes a while for them to say, oh, okay, this is good. And usually they don't. Usually I have to, stretch out and let them take it, or else I put it down so they can come and get it because they're not treated well. And then you'll go and you'll see, the kids trying to sell animals in the market, and the animal is sitting there dangling by 1 foot, tied up. And it's just, for us, it's heartbreaking. For them, they're just trying to eat. So, yeah, not a whole lot of pet keeping there. Oh, let's see. A couple lives ago, you talked about 2026 goals. Mine have started early, proving out 4 wild-caught female umbanjas. 2 hatchlings from 1 are about 4 weeks old now. Such a treat to care for these little guys. Oh, yeah. That's so much fun. Proving them out and working with the wild type umbanjas. I love that. That's a great goal. Great goal. Do they feed them to take care of? I don't know how they. I don't know what they do to keep the parsons there, and I've not necessarily. The thing is, I've seen some pictures of people that go to Madagascar and they're taking pictures of the like the yellow giant in the same place that I saw them before, and I can tell it's the same place. But the last time we went to a different place and saw a different yellow giant. So I'm guessing that there is a network of people that go ahead of us and say, all right, everybody, where's the big chameleon? And so they go and they find it ahead of time. If they keep the parsons, it brings the tourists. Yes. And so I would guess that there is a motivation for them to keep chameleons on their property. So they're probably somehow encouraging it if they can. I don't know. Maybe they put a piece of meat on a big stick up there so the flies come. I am sure there is a much bigger story than I know about. Bill is a Caesar Milan of Madagascar. He would not give up until that dog took a tree. Yes. I would do things like see a dog on the side of the road and I'd toss a little dog bone out the window and hope he got it. So, yes, you got to be these all the good boys in Madagascar. They're not treated well. So I want to let them know that there's somebody out there that loves them. Baldraco says, Bill, should I be feeding my adult panther chameleon every day? How much is too much? He is very active and loves to eat. Well, Daldraco, the problem is that within our captivity, our chameleons don't burn a whole lot of calories. And so we've got to make sure that we don't feed them more calories than they need, because then they get unhealthy. They get obese and unhealthy, and that's not cool. So generally, panther chameleons, like large crickets, I do 3 to 5 large crickets every other day, and that works. That's a general guideline that has worked very well for me. And so obviously feeding a dubia, a 3-week cricket, a superworm, and we want the variety. You just kind of general idea of 3 to 5, and that usually works. They will eat more, and they will, depending upon how much variety you give them. If you give them a wide variety, they'll eat a whole lot. So you gotta, just because they're eating doesn't mean they need to eat. It's fun for chameleons to eat. I mean, they'll zap things with their tongue. They'll zap drops of water with their tongue. They'll zap fruit flies just for the fun of it. So chameleons do things just for the fun of it. And of course, they get that little, yeah, you did great by getting this insect. It's your food. They're still working on their wild instincts, telling them eat when you can. So they'll still eat, but that doesn't mean that they're hungry and they need it. That's where we've got to come in and say, okay, we brought you into captivity, and so we've got to regulate this calorie intake. I have the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Oh, those. Okay, that's what that would be. You could do translation. Yeah, there's a lot of AI translator type stuff coming out, so that's going to be very interesting. Now, in this particular Madagascar trip, you're not going to have a whole lot of opportunity to talk. I mean, there's always people who speak Malagasy, but we are interfacing with people who are trained to cater to tourists, because tourism is it's profitable for Madagascar, and they take it seriously. So, I mean, these tour guides like Patrick, he has to be certified to be able to be a tour guide. And each one of these forests that we go to, there's going to be a forest ranger that goes with us who is specifically trained to guide us. So we're very well taken care of there. And we're going to be out in the boonies and all that, but there's a structure there that is in place for people like us to come to the country. They want to encourage us to come to the country, spend money with the ecotourism. And this is more than just, okay, let's get money from the tourists. If the more money that they bring in for having the forest, the more likely that they get to keep the forest. If they're getting all of this money in from people wanting to see the forest, they're going to want the villagers are going to want to keep the forest. If the people around Ranamafana, we tourists, we come in and we spend money at the hotels, we buy things like vanilla from the street vendors. So we are an economy for them, and we are there because of the forest. So us spending money there is the best thing we can do to keep the forests. Because if we're not there, if the ecotourism industry just falters, then why keep the forests? Okay, yeah, oxygen and it's the world's lungs and all that kind of blah, 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 blah. How does that feed me today? So their window of concern is much narrower than those of us who have the luxury of being concerned about what's going on the other side of the earth. So Zebu is universe. Yes. Annabelle and Tony, we are going to learn Zebu. They're going to be we're going to get to know Zebu very well. All right, so people are getting excited about the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. All right. That's interesting. I will see. This whole AI thing has been quite the eye opener, and as to what's possible out there, and really AI. It's a lot of learning about who we are as human beings because it was trained on human beings, and so it's. Anyway, this isn't a show about AI. It's about chameleons. And so we've got about 7 more minutes for this show. And so if you have any other questions, and if you asked a question and I missed it, sometimes I get talking and I miss questions. Go ahead, put it into the comments again. And let's do one last round, one last chance. And chameleons and fog. We'll say Zebu twice a day, Bill. Twice? We got to eat 3 times, man. Yes. It depends on where we are. When we go to what's called local lunches, I mean, when we are between hotels, we stop by local lunches, which are restaurants along the way that are not for tourists. That's Zebu time, Zebu and rice. You gotta really be careful. Stay away from like vegetables and stuff that are washed in water there. At the hotels, they know they don't want to get the people that show up sick, and they know that our stomach is not habituated to their microbes, and so they make sure that the water they use isn't from like tap and stuff like that. But the local restaurants aren't as strict on that. So at the local restaurants, we just have to be a little bit more careful. Chameleons will always rock. That is absolutely correct. Chameleons and fog. That is an excellent statement. We will be seeing, hopefully it is like last time we went, it was very dry in Ranamafana, and the chameleons were desiccated. There was a rain that started while we were there, and chameleons and geckos were just soaking that up because it would have been so dry. Zebu all day, every day. Annabelle says, roadside Zebu is the best. James says, I lived on Zebu and rice, occasionally some eggs. I had some chicken, but mostly Zebu. Yeah. Not sure what was in that sausage. Oh, boy. Looks like we'll be having a lot of Zebu fun. Yes. And you will be able to enjoy Zebu in many different forms. And James says, as a final note here, the espresso was exquisite, actually a little dangerous. Yes, the coffee in Madagascar is amazing, and the espresso is powerful. So yes, they grow coffee in Madagascar, so you get the good stuff there. And James learned what espresso is. I mean, he's heard the word, but this is the first time he ever tried it. The boy was hooked. He now has an espresso machine of his own. I think for 2027, I will bring a lot of camping food if I can. All dehydrated stuff. Janet, that is exactly what I do. If you look into my suitcase, I do not pack light. I go up to the exact weight, and I have so many power bars in there because I am one of those. I'm very cautious with my food, and I am not excited about being adventurous. So I have to subsidize my calorie intake on a regular basis. The fresh juice. Yes, you got to be careful about the juices, but when you're at one of the good hotels, oh my gosh, the juices are amazing. Oh, like the Palmarium and the hotel in Andasi Bay. Oh, yeah. Geraldine's going to bring a lot of Cliff Bars and trail mix. I approve. This is exactly the kind of stuff. And James says, don't forget red licorice. Yes, anybody wants the 5-pound tub of red licorice to honor James Cross, bring that. No need for power bars when you have a tub of red licorice. Yes, James kept us all licorice up. James says, I will take some candy for the kids. Yes. Oh. Yes, less than a month I will be there, and still I'll probably be posting to the virtual campus and to Instagram stories. I think that's where I will do most of my communicating while I'm there. Those are easy ways to post. And then, of course, when I get back, I'll share some videos and such as I put it all together. So looking, have so much to get ready before I get on that airplane. And this time, I decided that I am going to sit by the window instead of sitting on the aisle. The aisle seat's great because you can always get up whenever you want to, but you have constant people coming by and bumping you. So I'm trying the window seat this time. Gonna have to be strategic as to when I go to the bathroom, but at least I will have my own little cocoon area. And I can try to type out some stuff. No, I don't do it on a computer because if somebody leans forward, breaks my computer. So I bring a little bit of an iPad. So that's what I'm trying. But the thing is, whenever I got in an airplane, I think, oh, wow, this is 12 hours of productivity. Whenever I get in my airplane, my head gets foggy. It's like I just sit there and just, it's just, I need to figure out how to make that time productive. I'm gonna research how do we do this. Annabelle says, I love the window seat. Let's just spill out a suitcase full of snacks. Yes. We could coordinate. And at midnight and every night we're gonna get together around a table and share snacks. I will be direct dialing you. Are you talking to me or somebody else? You're going to be direct dialing me? You know what? Oh, that's right. Well, I'll be up if you keep getting up at 5 a.m., I'll probably be up running around, running my funnel while you're doing that. Yeah. Geraldine says, got window seats for all my flights. All right. We're going to be window seat people. Take a melatonin and take a long nap. But I want to be productive. Very productive. I slept. Yes. All right, everybody. Any last words? Put them in because it's coming to the end, and I need to send you all off to be productive members of society. Have a good night. We will be this Saturday. We are going to, I want everybody, if you are in a breeding situation, like Susan and anybody who is breeding, this Saturday, we're going to be going over the breeding situation that we started talking about last Saturday. But I want to feature, if anybody has got breeding projects going on. Mike, I'd love to hear about your umbanja. Send me pictures. Let's see. Let's see. Banners. There we go. Okay. There's my email. Send me pictures of your breeding project. Carson, I want to tell everybody about your Bomi. And James, I'd like a picture of your gravid bifidus. I will show pictures of my shamrock eggs. Mike, anything about the umbanjas that you can share? Anything, send pictures to me so I can share with the group as to what breeding projects we've got going on within the Chameleon Academy community. So, Jenna, hey. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to sign off, send you off to be good people, and I'll see you on Saturday. So long. Oh, let's see.